The arrival mode is new for Cadillac in the IQ. Talk about that.
So we do have Cadillac arrival mode, as you stated. Really fun. I mean, it's kind of, why wouldn't you do it? I find myself crab walking a lot just because I can, but it's great because it helps you maneuver in and out of tight parking spaces. And this is a dream that way. When you look at like how far we push the wheels out to the corners, huge enabler for styling as well as from the engineering team. And then adding the technology in so that even though it has a long wheelbase, longer than our current Escalade ESV.
You know, you talked about that earlier, just about how this vehicle feels smaller than it looks, than it is. And I think four-wheel steer being a big part of that. Talk about some of those technologies from that maneuverability standpoint and, you know, what people will be able to feel when they're in that vehicle.
Yeah, that four-wheel steer being standard, that's a big one because it reduces our turn diameter by 6.5 feet. That's the best turn diameter of any Escalade to date. Once you get used to that, I have four-wheel steer in my daily driver, and I absolutely love it. It's almost difficult to drive a vehicle and figure out how to park when you don't have it.
That 450-mile range, it's certainly a lot, and I know part of that has been achieved by aerodynamics and reducing the drag coefficient and things like that. Talk about how you were able to get to a range of 450.
Yeah, so Ultium platform for one, but then the advanced aero. It was all these little details all around the vehicle. So really challenging ourselves from a gap and flushness perspective, especially in the front end. We did things like we've got active aero shutters. We've got the Ultium platform that gives us this nice flat belly on the underside of the vehicle for air to move past. And then our wheel design, they're beautiful. They look like a work of art, but they're incredibly functional. Air moves past those wheels as if it's a flat wall. Even in the back, our rear spoiler, we've added this canard just to make sure that the air moves seamlessly around the rear of the vehicle.
There's some great DNA that the Escalade nameplate brings. But what's exciting about the IQ is we can manifest it in a way that opens so many doors relative to the electrification of the underbody, the innovation of a 55-inch pillar-to-pillar screen for the driver interface. With Escalade, it's a little bit different. It's much closer. It's within arm's reach. Everything is now a touch interface, and it sits very upright. It's a little bit sitting on a platform, and we wanted something very, very clean. So horizontal vents that then rests on, and it enabled us to do a very clean appearance. So we've got a 55-inch, and it's a large display end-to-end, and then packaged at the end with AKG. We've got a 40-speaker AKG system, and creates quite a nice 360 surround sound system.
So it's going to be able to do bidirectional charging. There's the ability then to power external devices. How do you kind of think about those functionalities for an Escalade IQ consumer and how that's going to just be part of their ownership experience?
Yeah, just another little like surprise and delight. You know, it's kind of, to me, like the eTRUNK, where often you forget that it's even there, but when you need it, it is there, and you've got that technology available. So with our vehicle-to-home opportunities, I think, you know, I've had several of these where the power goes out and you're in that moment of, you know, what do we do, or at an event or whatever. The fact that you can get power from this vehicle with a couple of small steps is another big win.
We've got 12 cubic feet of frunk, which normally would be occupied by a traditional power plant, right? By a nice power plant. So that's another big benefit that we can bring to the customer, where we get isolated storage, covered storage in the front of the vehicle, easy access, and different types of storage opportunities versus the rear of the vehicle.
12 cubic feet of storage, that was big because it was, you know, we've got this long hood, this available space. Let's give it back to the customer, finish it like a luxury interior. That was just one thing, as well as the pass-through in the center console. That front cantilever console, you can actually store a bag in there, and because we don't have, you know, a drive shaft or exhaust or anything running front to rear like we do on our traditional combustion engine vehicles, it gave us that freedom.